Hello, YouTube. I am Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answer they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here from YouTube user Jay. Very impressive. These one-letter usernames. I'm very impressed with you all. And Jay asked us, "What if your case passes the statute of limitations while still going through the investigation stage? Can you hire an attorney and later take it to court?" Okay. So lots to discuss there. I have a couple of videos tangentially about this, but I'm going to try to do this quick because more videos is better. I think more videos lets people watch a couple of videos on a topic and maybe have a more complete understanding. And also, I say different things in different days, in different ways, and maybe I would have found a if I make a video 4 times, I'm not saying I made this video 4 times, I'm just saying hypothetically, if I make a video 4 times and I say it 4 slightly different ways, maybe one of those ways clicks for somebody else, for some other person, and they get helped, and then they make better decisions and they get more money, and a wrong is righted and someone actually got value from the channel, and that makes me so happy. Okay, so YouTuber Jay asked us, what if your case passes the statute of limitations while still going through the investigation stage? Can you still hire an attorney and later take it to court? Okay, first we're going to deal with the federal laws. The EEOC statute of limitations, depending on where you are, could either be 180 or 300 days. Check what the statute of limitations is in your state. Yes, that's zany and insane because it's a federal law. Why does it have different state-to-state statute of limitations? You're correct to ask that question. Is that stupid? Yes, it is. You're very correct. However, that is the law of the land. That is how it works. So find out what your statute of limitations for the EEOC is in your state, and then get your case filed with the EEOC for workplace discrimination or workplace sexual harassment within that statute of limitations. Congratulations. You have now met the statute of limitations for your federal claims. There will later be a really short window, a 90-day window, when you receive your right to sue letter from the EEOC, in which you need to get your case with its right to sue letter from the EEOC filed in federal court. So when the EEOC is done investigating, no matter what it's done to your federal statute of limitations, no matter how much time has passed, everything will still be timely based on your original EEOC filing under the federal laws only, and you will then have 90 days to get your case filed in federal court. If you miss your 90-day right to sue statute of limitations to get your case filed in federal court, unfortunately, your federal claims are almost certainly extinguished. Are there a couple of ways you might get past that? There are. Are you going to do that? Almost certainly not. No attorneys are going to take your case, probably. And even if they do, there's a really good chance they're robbing you because the likelihood of their success is extraordinarily low. The right to sue statute of limitations for 90 days is a pretty firm line in the sand as far as the federal government is concerned. Okay, so that was the simple, just looking at the federal laws. Now, based on where you are, you may also have state and local law claims. Exciting stuff. Additional claims means additional ways to win, additional potential pots of money, or additionally different ways damages are calculated, depending on where you are and what the law says. That's great. Now, the downside of that is there are other statutes of limitation to pay attention to. That could be great. In New York, that's great because you have a 300-day statute of limitations to get filed in the EEOC in New York. But depending on the scenario, you might have around 3 years to get something filed in state court. That's great. 3 years is a much longer and more flexible statute of limitations than, 300 days. So that's swell. But the EEOC, being what the EEOC is, you can file your case and they could sit on it for, we'll stick with 3 years. That happens. And you could be sitting in the EEOC being like, they're investigating, everything's okay. I'll file my case with my right to sue letter when it gets out within 90 days. And then 3 years and a day comes along since your last act of discrimination, and guess what? Your case is now outside the New York State statute of limitations for the state human rights law. And also, I believe, off the top of my head, also the New York City human rights law. Is that bad? It's really bad. It's so bad. Because in certain situations, in certain ways, the New York State and New York City human rights laws have advantages and can be worth more and can also in certain situations be lower risk than the federal laws. Now, by the same token, the federal laws have their own advantages. You don't want to pick and choose. You want to bring all your claims in one place. So, bring all the advantages, state, local, federal, all in federal court. That's usually the play. There's a couple, people make arguments, it's not always the play in certain states, and there's arguments. I don't know that I fully agree, but there's arguments. But you don't want, generally speaking, to be losing claims because the EEOC is sitting on your case doing nothing, which is generally what the EEOC does. Generally, the EEOC does close to nothing. So you need to make yourself aware of your statute of limitations on the state and local level of all the claims that you might potentially want to go forward with. This is one of the many reasons that I tell people they should be represented in the EEOC, because first and foremost, the EEOC won't take quite so long if you have an attorney, in my experience. But additionally, there can be a professional who does this for a living who's aware of your other statute of limitations. It's very valuable. It's very important. That is one of the many, many, many reasons why I think you should be represented in the EEOC. Now, I've described the problem. What's the solution? Well, the solution is you have to be aware of all of the statute of limitations, and if the EEOC is taking too long, you need to pull your right to sue letter long before your other state and local statute of limitations for your other claims run out, so you can get them all filed in federal court, because the EEOC could take a long time to give you a right to sue. If you're represented, it probably won't take so long. Usually it takes less than 60 days. Often I get it within 30. I've received it. I've called in a favor and gotten it in a week once. More than once. But that being said, if you're not represented, or if your EEOC office is particularly bad, or if your attorney's a little bit of a slowpoke, whatever it is, and you wait too long to ask for that right to sue letter, well, now you're just sweating. Am I going to get it in time to get all these claims filed in federal court? Am I going to have to file this action in state court? Am I going to have a federal claim and a state claim going in two different courts? That's a nightmare. That's double the work. Not great, right? So you have a lot to think about and be aware of. And if you're not an attorney, or even if you're an attorney who doesn't litigate for a living, or even if you're an attorney who does litigate for a living but doesn't litigate in this field and doesn't litigate in federal court, I'm going to be frank with you. It's not easy. You're going to mess up. There's a good chance you're going to cost yourself, create risk, or just extinguish claims. There's a lot of things that go on. Create risk to your case, extinguish claims, double the work. There's so many bad things that can happen. So that's what you have to keep your eye on. That's what you should be paying attention to. I hope this helps as a quick primer on some of the things to be looking up, right? Like, I can't advise you as to, like, people are all the time like, oh, what's the statute of limitations for this and here? I don't know, my friend. Call a local attorney, or like use Google. I can't give you specific state law advice in other states. That's not a thing that I'm allowed to do. The Bar Association will yoink my license so fast that my little head will spin. Actually, it's not that little. It's kind of a big head. My head will spin either way, though. All right. I hope this is helpful, Jay. I hope this answered your questions. If it didn't, comment below. I will check the comments for follow-up questions if I didn't properly answer your question. Remember, if this video is helpful, like, comment, subscribe. It helps me to help more people just like you. And remember, I keep saying it, and remember, I need a new phrase. Almost everybody works. Not everybody wins. Be smart out there.